actually looking at on the right-hand side of your screen is a microburst taking place. You see the fuzziness there on the right-hand side? This is a pocket of rain and cold air that is slowly sinking to the ground, and as it does so, it's probably going to pick up another huge gust of wind. That's why we've got some tree limbs down, we've got some power lines down coming into the newsroom, got some details on those. Likely power outages are going to go up as this really starts to intensify. But you can see that, look at that southwestern kind of edge right there. It started to slowly come down. Rain's now coming and picking up at the camera too. We may lose visibility here in a second. I just want to keep on this before we lose it. But heavy rain, there's Kavanaugh Hill, but you can't see it because the rain's coming down so heavy. We're getting rainfall rates over an inch per hour, so there could also be some localized flooding. The ground is so dry that when a lot of this water hits, it's not able to really soak in very well. It kind of runs off. That microburst is now coming down. You can see it making contact with the ground. So as this pocket of rain comes down, it's almost kind of, you guys think of kind of a bomb going off where you see just in all directions that wind just expand. That's what you're watching right now live here in LaFleur County, that rain coming down, that colder air coming down. It's going to hit the ground. It has nowhere else to go but out. And so gusty winds picking up for us big time. Some of these winds, this is a microburst that's taking place right now from Spiro westbound towards about Panama. And then as you head west to almost Wilburton. This is probably a big one. This one just right along 271 as you're in northern LaFleur County. This one's going to start to engulf as it moves west too. So you can see how it's kind of expanding because it can't go further than the ground. It has to expand. So that gusty wind, I mean, you're watching wind. See how quickly that's moving? You got 60-mile-per-hour winds that are just diving south right now in central LaFleur County. So watch out for downpours. You're going to have some hail pockets in some of these too with this microburst. And on top of that, you've got very heavy rain. Heavy rain, I know we need some rain, but we don't need it in kind of this fashion where it just comes in too quickly. But there could be some localized flooding threats. And that wall of water is getting closer. Eventually, you're going to see some of these trees start to disappear as the rain moves in a little bit closer to this camera. You're looking right on the state line at that Choctaw Casino there on 271. And you're looking back towards the west. See the camera now starting to shake? That's that wind that's starting to gust out with this microburst that's coming into LaFleur. Live look in Ozark. This is looking towards Scott County. Thunderstorms are a little bit farther in the distance, so this camera may not look as crazy, but boy, you're looking towards some crazy storms there in Scott County, southern Sebastian County, and LaFleur County too. We got very heavy rain for us, very heavy rain in Fort Smith. Looks like we've got an update, about 2,000 people without power. That's coming from OG&E. I tell you what, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and most of that's coming in from Podo. That's where we have one of the strongest thunderstorms right now there, and anywhere from it looks like about Panama, there towards the high school. You head south on 59, right towards the Choctaw Casino. You go past the Walmart. You head on Broadway, all the way through Broadway towards the County Fairgrounds, Carl Albert. Getting a lot of that heavy rain. Most of this is from Kavanaugh Hill eastbound, but most of the county has now been expanded too for Cameron and Monroe. Pecola, we're getting that heavy rain. New severe thunderstorm warning coming in as these storms kind of collide. What were you looking at earlier was that microburst? We were looking about right here, and you can see the rain now starting to fill in as the radar beam finally catches it. But this is going to expand right at us towards Greenwood, the south side of Fort Smith. You can also expect some hail in some of these storms too, along with those gusty winds. In fact, let's pop this up real quick. Looks like our biggest hail pocket right now is in northeastern LaFleur County. But it looks like we've got some hail growing right towards the south side of Fort Smith, right where you have some of those dealerships. I think we've got an update from Joe and Darren. What do you got for me?
Yeah. I can tell we were talking about the power outages. There's 2,400 people without power, mostly in Podo. There are some in Heavener, but now we're starting to get some power outages in South Fort Smith. And Matt, you were talking about how that high wind was going into South Fort Smith, crossing from Oklahoma into Fort Smith, and then especially into South Fort Smith. But we're starting to get some power outages there. Also,